All right, you're listening to the Technology Podcast. Hello, content creators, developers, and all of that. We're back in the studio. Creatives as well. We're back in the studio.
Them, fam.
No, we can't because we've got a major one here.
And we've got a special guest.
Yeah,
So, Okori, how you doing?
I'm good.
As an introduction, do you think you can do an intro for yourself? Because I've got mine,
Yeah,
but
I didn't prepare an intro, but yeah, I guess it's kind of a lot. So yeah, I'm a Bristol-born creative filmmaker, UI UX designer, and engineer.
And a genius.
Not yet working on it.
I'm actually a fan. I went through your stuff. I was like, yeah,
I appreciate that, bro.
this guy's on this.
Clean cut, crisp.
Just not a joker, fam.
Appreciate it, man. For real.
you mentioned you were born and raised in Bristol. What's that like?
Yeah. Like I was saying before, like Bristol's kind of like a miniature version of London. That's what I'd say. Like it's the ethnic population is more Jamaican. So you got loads of Jamaicans, Indians, and then like East Africans kind of culture. It's very yard. Like, we have our own carnival.
Yeah.
St. Paul's carnival. It's just like
Oh, that's fun.
yard. Yeah. And it's cool, man. It's a cool place to be. It's very alternative, very creative. Like a buzzing place if you're a creative filmmaker, artist, whatever. And it's the home of like all the documentaries. So like those are like National Planet, like all those animal documentaries and stuff.
Okay.
All the production companies all in Bristol, innit?
Wow,
So
you're
if you're
putting
a
Bristol
film-
on the map. I
Yeah.
didn't know.
So,
Exactly.
so all the films and documentaries and that usually get produced there. So it's a buzzing spot, man.
Are you Jamaican yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Could have guessed.
I was like,
Yeah.
where did Okori come from?
St. Thomas, Jamaica.
I thought you were Nige. I'm not gonna say.
Nah.
I thought you were
My name
Nige,
is West African, Okori. It's not a Jamaican name. But we've got like Jamaica was a plantation, innit? So like I've got family in Ghana and Haiti, everywhere. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
everyone comes together.
Have you ever been to Jamaica?
Yeah. My mom got married there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the beach. It's crazy.
Shout out to Mumsy.
Yeah,
That must be lit though. Get married on the beach.
yeah.
That
It was peng.
fam.
Peng.
Sorry, before we start. Yeah, continue.
All right.
Best
I
to
mean,
say.
I've got here various
Hit me, man.
credentials.
I know, we're prepared for you, my guy.
Oh, really?
got my own,
The
yeah.
reset.
Yeah.
I respect it.
I've got here 2019 BBC New Creative,
Yeah.
Jeez.
2020 BMAA winner, which is the Ben
Jeez.
Martin Apprenticeship.
Yeah.
You're a creative director, as you said,
Yeah.
a UX developer,
Yeah.
a software engineer.
Yeah.
You recently had an advert commissioned for the BBC,
Wow.
and I think it was a film.
Oh, he told you film. Get it right.
And I think I recently saw like you've been working on your own game, something for your cousin.
Game. Which
Yeah.
game was that? Oh yeah, that was
That
like
Journey,
Yeah. I was building like a Python game for my little cousin.
Wow.
Trying to. Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
I don't know.
Let's start at the beginning.
This stuff for
Yeah,
2019.
let's start
Yeah.
from let's start before all of that.
Before,
Like,
yeah.
how were you introduced? Obviously, you said Bristol was like
Yeah.
the hub.
Yeah.
So take us from when you were first like, like the baby steps.
So like
What led to it all?
fam, like when I was younger, I was big into what got me into art, was anime. Obviously, when I was from the 90s, I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach,
Wait, who was your favorite Dragon Ball Z character?
Vegeta.
Really?
Big Vegeta. I always rated Vegeta because I don't know, man, he was just cooler than Goku, and Goku's wavy, but
Yeah.
he can be a bit corny sometimes. Vegeta had that edge to him,
Yeah.
and then maybe Gohan, Cell Saga. You know when Gohan's turned up?
Bro!
Yeah, that,
Gohan is my man.
Yeah.
Gohan is my man. When he
Yeah.
beat Cell, that's
yeah,
what
that was like the. But after that, he got a bit.
Yeah, now
He fell
he's
off, he fell off, man.
he's a
It's not the same.
I don't even know,
But
man.
I was big on that and like Spirited Away, those films. I always used to try and recreate them.
From that thing, you always used to give me
Yeah.
nightmares, man, when I was young.
Oh, the
Spirit,
Black Ghost. Yeah.
fam.
So I used to try and like draw those, and that's how I got into art. But it was just like drawing anime characters. I was never really an artist. And technology side, I was big into games and that. Like,
Wait, so you draw as well?
I used to draw. I don't draw anymore. I can't draw. Now I do everything like digitally, innit?
Yeah.
I'm not an artist anymore. I'm a
still
digital
a thing.
artist now. Whatever.
What games were you into?
Well, mostly fighting games. That's not lie. So like Dragon Ball Z, obviously it was anime games. So I had
Yeah.
Budokai,
Budokai,
Tenkaichi,
yeah.
Fight Night, Street
Mortal
Fighter,
Kombat,
Mortal Kombat,
Tekken.
Tekken. Yeah, but I sucked at Tekken. Soul Calibur, I was the best at that game.
You know, I'm bottom basher. I'll press anything.
Swear.
Everyone's a bottom basher. Everybody's a bottom basher.
Yeah, everyone was that start. That's
The
how you
elites.
start. That's how you rock.
So you started, fam.
Right,
The
passage.
elites memorize button combos. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, up, down, left, right, dodge.
Yeah.
Okay, punch.
Do you remember when games had cheats, bro?
Yeah.
Fam,
Yes.
I used to write them down on paper.
Fam.
I miss those days. Like I miss cheats, bro.
Yeah.
Something
bro.
about it.
Get like
Vice-
super jump.
Yeah,
You can
bro.
Do one to get bare money.
Fam, I
Vice
remember-
City had one. I remember
think-
playing Vice City when I was growing up.
I can still remember some of the cheats for what's it? GTA 3.
Yeah, San Andreas, I've got some of them like off like memory. I couldn't tell you, but I
CJ.
look at the pad, man. Yeah, it's a bit mad.
Fam.
So that was me when I was younger. I was into games heavy, and I wanted to and like I always had kind of a creative mind. So I always used to try to like imagine like my own story or own game, but I didn't think about that as a career when I was younger.
Yeah.
Big man saying I thought I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
My mum
I can
was a
see that.
lawyer, and she was so like I used to like grow up and she would be studying and she would like make me read law books to shut up and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop bothering me, read this or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, and then when I was about 15, do you know when you do that work experience thing in year 10?
Yeah.
You do like a week's work. My mum patted me working at a law firm,
Okay.
and I thought that week I realized this is not what I want to do, bro. Like, I fell asleep. I was just a mess. Like, it was just not for me. And I was like, okay, so we need a new plan. And at that time in school, I was doing robotics class after school, but I didn't know. Fam, do you remember Robot Wars?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was like the latest show ever.
That's like on like BBC. You see them in the controlling.
So another show I used to watch growing up was Robot Wars, and like in my school, I used to do after school robotics, where you could program robots. So me and my cousin used to go because it's like, oh, like it's our own robot, wasn't it? We can make them like fight or go through mazes or whatever. My mum was doing that, but again, I didn't have no idea about tech as a career. It was not even I feel like it wasn't a thing when I was growing up. So I was like, what am I good at? I was good at business, and I was like, I liked English lit and history and stuff like that. I had like Lucas Aid shop. You know what I mean? When you start selling drinks in school, yeah, I was that guy. So I was like, let me just do marketing.
Okay.
And kind of fast forward into that, it wasn't just business, it was because marketing was like creative.
Yeah.
Ironically, I always wanted to make like a film, but I thought I could never do it because I couldn't write scripts when I was younger, like conversations. So I was like, I can't do film. I've done film now, which is weird, but like, let me do marketing where I can create little adverts, which are like, not films, but kind of like films. It's got business in it. It's got psychology. You can be creative because like, ideally I wanted to maybe do marketing in the game industry, whatever. And that's how I got into do marketing at uni. So now we're fast forward to uni now. And like in my third year, I managed to pattern like an opportunity to do an ad. So like, just for some freelance work. I was like, I didn't want to leave uni with just a degree.
Yeah. Which uni did you attend?
Anglia and Cambridge. So it's it's
okay.
Lord Ashcroft Business School, but there's one in London and one in Cambridge.
Yeah.
And the one in Cambridge is linked with Anglia. So I went to that one. So I'm like, I studied in Cambridge. Like, uni of? I'm like, no, joke. I'm not that smart. And then I went there. I directed my first ad in third year. And from there, I was like, this directing thing is lit. Like, you're trying to pay me to do this, I'll do it for like, I couldn't say it back then, but I said, I'll do it for free, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was like, let me try and direct other mediums and stuff. So this is like before the tech stuff was even like a viable thing. I was like, let me just get creative with it. So I did like a music video, did like behind the scenes, documentary stuff. I was like, oh, this is sick.
Any artists that we might know?
You will know him, definitely. There's a Bristol artist called Lexus P, and I did his video called Source on Gram Daily, which is, I think, it's a wavy video.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll see it. He's got some more stuff coming out. Like I think a lot of people in there eventually, for real. That guy's wavy.
But check that out. What did they say his name was?
Lexus P.
Lexus P.
Wait.
Shout out to Lexus P.
Shout out to him, man.
On your website, and I think he posted a video of him and he's spitting bars, and the flow was actually cold.
Yeah.
The flow he had was cold. The actual beat he had was cold. And
Yeah.
then the video production was actually pretty sick as
I
well.
appreciate that, man.
So,
Thank
yeah.
you.
That's mad. Okay.
Yeah, so that was like my first thing, and like the directing side of it. These times, like I just thought, let me just experiment as a director, and then you don't know who sees your work in it. The advert I did was like it was received pretty well.
Yeah.
And at the time, my other stuff was getting received really well, and then next thing I know, I got through my mum. So there's a lot of stuff to catch up on. My mum was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now she owns her own business. So she's a fashion designer. She owns a company called Amshella. They're at London Fashion Week.
Big up
Vogue,
Mumsy.
Shout out to
That's what
that.
I'm saying, fam.
What do
Yeah.
you call it again?
I'm Shella.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Shella.
my nephew's name's Amshaw, so she like did the feminized version. I'm Shella. It means something. I don't know what the name means. So I'm sorry, nephew. I'm sorry. But yeah, like, so they did a film about her in Bristol, like about like people in Bristol doing things. And one of the guys there had worked. This is how it is who you know.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the guys there had done some work with the BBC. His name's Mike Jenkins. He's a producer from Bristol. And I spoke to him because I just have to speak to people all the time, especially to see that if you're ahead or somewhere where I want to be, like, what did you do? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And bust conversation with him. He said, oh, I would like to see your work. One of them ones, he saw my work and was like, oh, calm, I'll be in touch. Well, I'll never hear from the guy again. Next thing I know, I get an email like, yo, I've got an opportunity for you. BBC Creatives Competition, do you want to go? And
Yo, closed mouths don't get fed.
yeah. Bro, real talk. Sometimes it's just like a simple conversation here and there can change everything. So I was like, okay, like calm. And then the deadline, I remember, like, I didn't do anything until the day. I didn't finish my idea until like the day before. And he was like, oh, you see the pitch and idea to them if they like it, the funding you could be on.
Why do you
TV.
think that is? Did you have like a creative block or
Do you know what it was? I just like,
imposter syndrome or?
for me, I think I wasn't that confident in myself back then. I've always been confident in myself, but I've always been like, what I like is what I like.
Yeah.
And I don't expect anyone else to like it, nor do I even like anticipate anyone else to like it.
Yeah.
So like with this idea, it was true. Like I wanted to be, everything I do, I wanted to be authentic. And it was authentically me to the core. Like it was literally like, with this film, I tried to like put my brain on a camera. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So I was like, raw, like that's kind of, it's mad to do that in public because you don't know if just because I like it, everyone else might not understand it, they might not agree with it.
Yeah.
So I think I was a bit like, I'm not gonna win this thing anyway. Like, so I kind of just put it off. Then I just thought, let me just go for it. Why not? Made the idea, got a solid team together. It was like a crew of 5. A solid team as well. Most of them are from Bristol, people I know who are talented doing their own thing, but from the city as well, which I wanted to consciously do.
Yeah.
And then we pitched it. I think deadline was like at 11 p.m. I think I did it at like 10:55.
Wow.
And these times like, I'm working in it. So like, I was doing a mad job, bro. I was working in insurance last year. Like, it was like 6 days a week, mad hours. To get a day off was long. Like you had to book like hours off, and you had to compete. It was like bidding for it, so it wasn't even guaranteed. I don't even want to trash them, but like, it was mad. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I didn't have the time to do a film.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, I got the message. Oh, you've been greenlit. We're gonna go ahead with your film. I'm like, okay, so I'm making a movie. But yeah.
Wow.
And that was it, fam. That was like how I got into the directing film thing. And that experience was the most challenging but learning experience I've ever had in my life. Because it's not being a director on a project and then being a director of a whole film, and it's not just any film, it's for the BBC. So you gotta go through all the like bureaucracy and checkpoints and and then handling budgets and like writing the script to directing it to finding the location and checking up everything. And then casting, like I didn't even think about casting when I was saying, I want to make a film.
Yeah.
So all these little things, it was stress. It was like beautiful stress, but it was stress. But then at the end of the day, when I got to see it like on TV, people were watching it, people were contacting me about like how it made them feel. It felt worth it still. But even before we get to the end of the film, this is how I got into the kind of tech side of it. I was working and there's this wavy creative here. I've never met her, but she's lit. She's called Mabintu.
Okay, yeah. That is so strange. We were literally talking about it.
Yeah, her stuff
Friday.
Her stuff
Friday,
her stuff is lit.
Yeah.
Like last year, she was doing these design challenges where she would like redesign apps that she would use. And I was like, that looks fun. That's kind of how I was like, oh, that looks fun. Like I'm always on my phone. I'm always like liking to create stuff. Why don't I try that? So I just started trying it. Like I built like the night concept that you might have seen on my site.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was wavy.
That was cool, but I like the vision. Was it Vision?
The Vision one, that was the actual website I built. That was a live website. That was for actors. So I started like just redesigning stuff for fun in my bedroom, and just putting it out on socials, like just putting it out for fun.
Yeah.
Like, it was never anything of like I want to be in UX, UI. I didn't even know what UI, UX was at the time. Do you get it?
Yeah.
A lot of people still don't really know. There's words that like they can mean 100 different things to different people.
What tools were you using?
That's what I was just about to ask.
So I got Adobe XD first, because that's free in it. Sketch you have to pay.
I was using that with my final year project.
Adobe,
I was telling this guy, design first, man. Design. He just wants to start coaching.
XD is lit. I've used a bunch of them now, like Figma, XD, Sketch.
Oh yeah, Figma.
Like some kind clients like work with Figma. So I prefer XD in my opinion. Like that's like my bread and butter. But they're all kind of calm.
Because you can have it on your phone. You can actually.
Yeah, and I just think it's a bit more intuitive when it comes to certain things. But they all have their benefits and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was doing it on XD. And then like people on Twitter, someone on Twitter was like, oh, like I like your work, could you redesign my website? I was like, okay, calm. Like, you're paying me, like, I'll pay you. I was like, okay, calm. Like, so man's working, I'm doing a film and I'm trying to do this. Like, I swear, like, I've got no sleep. I used to go to work like from 9 to 6, drink bare coffee and just be chill. Somehow I used to do all right because it was just sales on the phone. And then come home at like 7, start like working on design, and then till like 10, and then from 10 till 2 to work on the film, go to bed, do that. I was doing that every single day. And then when I would take holidays off work, it would be to go and do stuff with the film or to go practice design. Because it was just fun. When you're doing stuff you want to do, it's like, it's not even a problem. So yeah, I was doing that. So I was doing freelance work here and there, designing it. And I was like, okay, this is like maybe a thing. But I was like, I need to get better. And then what got me into coding was, so obviously, design and development are two halves of the same coin, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So, and I didn't understand at the time designing for development. So I would design stuff, like I would design a website and hand it off to a developer. And maybe because I don't want to say fully because of the developer's capabilities, but also just because of how I designed it, not thinking like someone has to code this. The end product wouldn't look at how I designed it. You get it? And that would frustrate me because I wanted full creative control in it. And I was like, that's not the vision I had. So I was like, I need to learn how to code because that's the only way I'm going to get to have full control. It's like in filming, if you're a director, and you should learn how to write your own scripts so you can actually have that creative control to write the whole film. And so I was like, okay, so I got to learn how to code. How do I do that? And me, I'm a nerd, and I like to learn stuff. I don't know why, I just like to learn stuff. And so I was like, this is fun. Like, I just bought like books. So I bought like not even bought them. You can get bare books online for free. The secret, kids, just Google the book and type in PDF after and download the PDF. That's the plug.
Are you listening, kids?
I feel like we should know this, but we don't. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it in uni. I was paying like, do you know your uni books are like £80? Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Remember when they used to tell us to buy books? Remember in first year?
Yeah, they used to tell us about bare books, and it would like come up to like rent.
Yeah, for real.
Hundreds and hundreds.
You could just get, and even if it's for a textbook, you can just get the issue from like the last, because things don't change that much in a year. So you can get the year before's textbook and it'll still be relatively up to date. You don't need to buy the brand new one for £100. Like,
kids, I hope you're listening. Don't make the mistake that we made. Hey,
that's common sense.
Yeah, man. I have to drink it. Listen.
Hey, sometimes common sense is not common.
It does, man.
Hey, that's a real fact.
It's not common.
Wow.
Burning.
Yeah, that's a bar for real. So I literally did that, and I took on your Code Academy, that website.
Yeah.
I just paid for that.
That's what I started. Yeah,
paid for that, and obviously I think Code Academy makes it. Looking back on it, it's a good supplementary teacher, like for syntax and stuff. But I would recommend probably getting a book and going through actually building stuff to really learn it. So I was doing that, and it's funny though because like UX and UI is front end. Obviously the Python, which is when I started learning first, is a back end, and there's not really that much front end capability from it. So I was like two different things, but I really liked the back end because it was more interesting to me. Funny enough, like I didn't like front end dev.
Really?
I I do.
Yeah.
I thought it was boring. Like something about it was just jarring. Like when I could see like people doing like building whole like I don't know stock markets and stuff like back and I was like, this is sick. Like man can build anything. Like when I'm thinking of solutions to like world problems, you're doing it through the back end. The front end stuff comes later. So I was like, this stuff is more interesting and more useful to me. But then it doesn't really go hand in hand. When you want to do UI UX jobs, they're like, oh, they need you to be able to front end code. I'm like, okay, yeah, can. So yeah, I was doing that, and then so I got my job. One thing I did, I had a mentor, 2018, and he kind of put me onto like developing a plan, like a goal system. So I had a certain set of goals for that year, and a lot of it was to get into investments, like starting like put my money in places, and also save up to buy a MacBook because I need to have a MacBook so I can edit films, so I can do design, all this stuff. I had a shit. Can I swear? I can't say sorry. I had a crappy. Nah, sorry. Just know because sometimes
sometimes we get excited.
I get excited.
I remember the last time
I had a crappy Windows computer that my dad bought for like £400.
Tell them, let them know, you Windows guys.
I can't
Continue your
speak for the new
story.
ones. I can't speak, but my one was, massive ones, bro. And it was like 50 kilos.
Bare
Like, what are
heavy,
we doing? Like, I can't do this. So
I'm
I had to
burning
save
on
up
the
and get a new Mac.
Yeah.
So I got that job because it paid well at the time, and I was like,
Yeah.
let me save up, and then I managed to get the MacBook. I saved up a certain bit of money, so I put my money in the right places. And I was like,
Editing
okay.
is so clean on the Mac, right? The
Yeah,
touch
bro.
and feel was so clean, right?
I like your crutch, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's swerving.
Yeah, so like, then once I had that, I was like, why am I here? Like, because then you start to realize that there's a trade-off between like, yeah, it's paying you well, but it's also costing you your time, and that time could be spent doing things you actually like doing.
Yeah.
I didn't like it, and I don't believe, I'm not a person who could do things I don't like doing.
Yeah.
It used to be, now I'm so happy for it. When I was a kid, it used to be the worst thing. Like, I don't want to do this class, like, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do it, like, I just can't force it. So I remember just leave, like, on my birthday, June 10th, like, last year, that day is important, that's the day I quit. And then just decided to go freelance, but I didn't even have anything set up.
You quit on your birthday.
Yeah.
That's a flex.
You
bro.
must have been deep.
That's
That's flex.
Yeah,
That's like
'cause,
my birthday.
Bro,
I'm out.
do you know what it was? They didn't even let me get my day off for my birthday. Like, I tried to be like, yo, it's my birthday, I want to spend it. They were like, no. So I was like, what? You got mad.
Honestly.
Like, you're mad. I'm done. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm not coming in. And then, lo and behold, again, we just saying like, God, these funny things. Like, that week, I did like my first proper contract to design and develop a website, which was like paying me the same as my wage was at like workplace. So I was like,
See how
this
God
is
works.
mad. Like,
Yeah.
and then from then on,
Yeah.
that was just kind of the thing, and just kept on from there and was doing self-employed, UI, UX, and then obviously doing a film as well.
Yeah.
Got the film out there. And then part of my plan for 2020 was to explore tech, because I knew like as a designer, I'm getting competent.
Yeah.
But like I need to develop my skills in coding and programming. So I was like, that's what this year was about. And it just started off to a great year with, like you said, the award and other things like that. So that's kind of, I hope that catches you up to speed on how I got to this kind of
The
point.
timeline.
Wow.
When you started, did you ever imagine, like, maybe even certain aspects of your story? Did you imagine, like, you know, sometimes you can like play through your head, like, this is how this is gonna go. Like, has that really happened, or?
Yeah, no. So some things, like a lot of things have happened, but not in the way I expected them to happen.
Yeah.
Do you feel me? And like for one, like this is the second podcast I've done, but like I always wanted that picture doing a podcast and talking about stuff. Like I always just did it. Like that. Even like the award and just the freedom of now, like I'm working as a UI animator now, and like working remotely, free, like to get up when I want and work how I want.
Yeah.
Big thing for me since I was young. Like I always knew I wasn't fit for a regimented lifestyle, like getting up at 8 and doing it. I just can't do that. It's nothing wrong with it, but I physically am terrible. I won't wake up. Like, and be in that position now where like I have that freedom to get up and do what I want and read what I want to read, chill what I want to speak to, I want to speak to. Like just that freedom, something I used to dream of when I was a kid. Yeah. And then obviously having this platform and doing the film and like, it is weird, it's surreal, but it wasn't how I imagined it. I just knew, I always believed when I was younger, like I want to, because my mind when I was younger was mad. Like, I was like, I need to be successful. Yeah. Like it was like, there's no alternative. I don't know. I just knew like the life I kind of wanted to live, and I knew I had to get that, and there's no other way. So I always had belief in myself. So I believed in my potential, but I just didn't know how that was going to actualize. So when good things start coming your way, you're like, raw. Yeah. It's calm.
Yeah. You say you read what books were you reading?
As in general? Or...
Yeah. What kind of books are you into?
Oh, I read loads, bro. Like loads. Last year I kind of got into philosophy more. Yeah. I think philosophy's key. And
why would you say it's key?
Just because like it's there's a lot of wisdom in it, and I think you need a worldview, a solid worldview, and understanding of why you're here and what you believe in, at least, to kind of like help orient you. And philosophy did that for me.
Do you know the name of the book?
My favorite book I recommend to everyone is The Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's a short book. Marcus Aurelius was like an ancient Greek emperor, I think like 187 AD. And all the Meditations is I think when he died, they found his like notebook, and they just they compiled all his notes into a book, and it was just like notes to himself about how to live. And it was just, it's just kind of, and it's funny because it makes you realize how people don't change much. In that same book, he's talking about how people back then were still focused on oppressing people they don't even know, and this culture of like people care less about their own opinion than they did other people's. Things that we think now are kind of big because of social media. That's just kind of human nature. And it just goes about how to deal with that. And that book was like eye-opening for me. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He's a psychotherapist who was he was in the Holocaust. He got back the Holocaust, went to Auschwitz. Luckily, one of the ones he made it out, and he kind of documented. The book is like half of his journey when he was there, and the other half is like his analysis post leaving it. And the ultimate message is basically you learn that you need a meaning in your life to kind of like man needs a meaning. And he kind of quoted this old Nietzsche quote, which was like, a man with a why can survive anyhow. And you notice that in people who were in the concentration camps, about how like the ones who still had something to hold on to, whether it's a family or seeing their friends again or whatever, their health, like they managed to live through it. Whereas the second they gave up and they lost all hope, their health deteriorated. And he just said that, you just need to find a meaning in your life and purpose. And there's no general purpose. I think everyone, that's kind of your own question that each individually you answer on it. But just make sure you figure out what that is or you're trying to. And one of the favorite keys from that was like about success and happiness. Yeah. And he talks about how happiness, like success, should shouldn't be pursued. And basically it should happen as a byproduct of what you're doing. Whereas a lot of people, I think, chase happiness. I want to be happy, I want success. Where you should be chasing things that make you happy as a byproduct. You get it? And that you're doing something that makes you successful. Do you know what I mean? It will come as a byproduct. Don't focus on it too much. I feel like when you focus on it too much, you push it away. So there's a lot of insights from that book that just shaped my whole like philosophy and mentality.
Added to my reading list.
Another
question from me. How supportive, or did you ever feel like a lack of support from those around you? Like when you told your parents, like, this is what you want to do?
Yeah. So obviously coming from like our background, I was like, let me just say black. When you told me you want to, obviously in normal ways, obviously go to school, get the degree, all that kind of stuff. So, and obviously creative is kind of, obviously I come from that background as well. So it's like, how would you tell like Caribbean dad or parent or African man that this is what you want to do? Is that going to bring, you don't know, you want to be like a creative director or graphic
creative director of what?
That's gonna be like that.
What do you want to?
That's a real good question. I think I was lucky in that my mom is a G and my dad is a G. My mom was always big on like, whatever you want to do, just make sure you're happy. She's just a big proponent of that. Uni was my decision. Like, I wanted to go to uni when I was a kid. She never forced me to go. The first day I went to uni, she was like, bro, if you don't want to go, come back. Like, she was probably just make sure you're happy in whatever you're doing. And my dad was like, my dad's more education focused. So I did all right at school in it. So he liked that. But he was calm. He's like, your grades are good, calm, like you can do what you want. You're at uni, as long as you're getting education, fine. All the other creative stuff, he was always calm, but I think now he's seen it actually working and paying off. He's like, oh, okay, this is what you're doing now. It's fine, as long as you...
That's the thing, when they see it, okay.
And he always told me to get into real estate, because that's what my dad is into. And he was like, so as long as whatever you're doing, you eventually put your money in that, in the right places, like, then I'm good. I don't care how you do it. Whether you're doing law, you're doing art, whatever, just make sure that you set yourself up right. So they were always cool, man. My mom's my biggest fan. Big man thing, like, she's insane. She's actually insane. I can't take her anywhere. But I love you, obviously, if she's watching.
I'm just here enjoying hearing the talk, innit? Like, what was your favourite thing to work on so far?
Ooh, that's a good question. Man, what's my favourite thing to work on so far? So the film, maybe so when it comes to actually designing and developing stuff, recently, like, and it's not even the craziest thing. Like, I did a UX engineer internship from start of Jan till like 2 weeks ago, and I started my proper contract in UI. But that was really fun, like going in there and like leading the UX, because another thing, like, I love psychology, and a lot of books I read are psychology books as well. And UX, I like it because it's like user behavior psychology informing the design. And with startups, I feel like the best place to work, honestly, I think, is like a fast growing startup. When you're starting out as a developer, designer, whatever, because it's so much fun. People kind of make it up as they go along, and you're kind of finding the ropes, and it's like it's just bureaucratic, and you have more freedom to really like show your value. Do you feel me? And that's what I had at that startup, where like they had a problem there, and they brought me on to kind of help with the UX, but also help engineer it. And I got to just do it my own way, launch my own test. I had full freedom to tackle the issue how I want to tackle it. And at first it's a bit nerve-wracking because you're like, bro, like, deferring to me. Like, I don't have to, they're like, what do you suggest to do? And I was like, okay. But then eventually I kind of got into the groove of it and was like, no, this is so fun. Like, it was just exciting and new and everything was changing and different. And it really, again, built confidence in myself. Because when you take on responsibility, when you manage it, then you start to kind of get that confidence. Okay, I can do this, I can do more. That was the most fun. And that was like just like helping them with like some of the UI and app and user experience stuff and back end. But that was the most fun just because of that, being in that environment, that startup environment, that tech environment, which is so different to anything else. Like, everyone's so chill. Like, everyone has, like, I was working in a tech accelerator, innit? So it's like a hub with loads of businesses, and like everyone just chill with their Macs out. Like, you can chill. Like, everyone talk about whatever. They're just bare lax. Like, but everyone's so intelligent and high achieving. But yet they're just, you don't have that kind of well, at least I didn't experience any of that pompous, like, pretentiousness.
Yeah, all the politics and everything.
No politics. Everyone's just like, bro, it's an amazing place to be. And it's like, especially when you're trying to be in that sphere as well. Like, I was excited to go home and practice programming or go home and design because like I'm around it all the time.
I feel like that's key. And that's what I feel like some like young adults now, they are not doing things. They're doing things that they're not happy. And that can help, like, in the long run, that can affect your mental health.
Do you know what I think it is? Because when I had to start my job where I'm working now, in fact, the job before this one I didn't even want to do. And it was remember you said, I was telling you, bro, that's not the end goal. That's definitely not the end goal. But the thing that had to be explained to me, even at my big age, was that this is not the specific end goal that you're going to have, because as you go along, going to these different places, you're going to have to jump from one ladder to another and move around until you get there. So it's not that you're moving consistently sideways. Your path is always there, but you're moving towards it. But at the same time,
so like different angles.
Exactly. That's why they say nobody's path is the exact same, because the way in which we all have to move to navigate to where we need to get to is always going to be somewhat different.
It's going to be unique to you.
Exactly. So for you, your jumping off point is Bristol. So for you to be in a place which is a hub for creatives, it kind of means that your jump off point is going to be very different for someone that's all the way in Manchester.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Or someone that's like in Birmingham, because the way in which everything is set up is so different.
And there's different advantages and disadvantages to being from anywhere. And you kind of just have to like use what you have, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, facts.
You know, I think you should answer the question you just posed actually before I say anything.
Sorry.
So the question was, how would young people now also get into the same kind of profession?
No, what I was saying was that there are so many, like...
it was a statement,
it was just a statement that there's so many young kids,
I thought you were going to lead into a question.
Like young adults.
Young adults. And adults, let's be honest, man.
It's weird, fam.
Yeah, exactly. And adults, because I'm actually doing things that they're not happy. You wake up in the morning, it's a drag.
It's not the one.
You know. But I'm sure when you wake up, you're excited. I'm sure you wake up before that alarm.
Or don't even use an alarm.
He's like me, fam.
Just wake up.
He wakes up, looks at the alarm, he's just like, you know what, nah, I'm going to go by my own flow today. It is now 6 o'clock. I should have been up time ago.
Whether like fictional, non-fiction, like has there been any sort of figures in your life that you look to and you're just like, oh yeah, that's my idol?
Like role models and stuff. Man, I feel like there's different points in my life I had different kind of role models and stuff. So that's a mad one. And I feel like I've got a few.
Yeah.
Fictional or non-fictional.
We've got time, man.
Yeah. I would say that when I was younger, my older brother was like a big role model to me. Because when you're younger, you think your older brother knows everything, innit?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I used to ask like 100 questions all the time. When I'm older, man, I don't know why I was pressing you, like everything. But yo, Ty, why? Why is this? Why is this that? I used to have been stressed.
I don't know if I'm
still like that now.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Older brother, definitely. And then I think growing up, probably like low-key it was anime stuff. Because I think like the main message I got from like those anime and showing anime in general was like this idea of perseverance and like getting back up.
Yeah.
So you watched a lot of shonen.
Yeah, 100, man. Anime boy. And like the main message is kind of like, you try, you lose, and you come back stronger. You try, you and then you never give up. And like always kind of like that.
One thing about anime that kills me the most is these guys could have like 10 episodes and it's still in the same point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I hit him here,
you got 5 minutes. It's like 2 years. I'm like, yo, when's this done? Like, real talk.
it will go back in the time.
Yeah.
Goku's still stuck on the camera. I'll build
Still
up, fam.
stuck.
Yeah.
He's still charging, man.
Episode 44. What are you doing?
I'm thinking at least I had breakfast yet. But yeah,
started screaming.
It was that, and when I got older, just certain people around me. I've been inspired by a lot of the people that I've come to connect with. Be it some friends, some family members. But as for proper icons, no, not until like, do you know what? See, I didn't know anything about Nipsey Hussle before he died. Like I heard about his name, I didn't hear his music. When he died, checked out his music. Victory Lap is like my favorite album.
Bro, I streamed that once.
The album is like, no, but like it's on a spiritual thing. I feel like the album is like, I need to hear it. You feel me in the morning because there's messages in there that you really need to do.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing of what he was trying to do about like get a position to help his community, black people in his community, and like empower them and financial freedom was something that I've always been big about.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was someone doing it. And now I'm like, I wish I could have met the guy. Like, I wish I knew this before, so I could have followed before.
Rose.
So definitely that guy was a big inspiration.
You know what's mad for me? Like him speaking on like stuff like vertical integration and just owning the whole supply chains. And you could see how he went to go and do it with his music, with his clothing store.
And like one thing like I'm always been big on is like coming up. I feel like I don't know if it's just the black community because that's my perspective. That's all I can see in it. So I don't want to make blanket statements, but it felt like, especially from Bristol, like when people would make it or do their own thing like that, it was like they wanted to kind of just distance themselves from everyone else, and it almost felt like people had this weird illusion that to succeed, you had to kind of succeed by like, gimme, push, take like stepping on other people to get. Do you get it? Like I'm here, no one come around. Like,
take, but don't.
Feel me? And I felt like I feel like I was capped. Like I feel like it's better if everyone's trying to help each other and you can come up and bring other people up with you. You're not diminishing your shine at all. You feel me? Like it's not about that. And I think we get further along if people had that mentality of instead of helping themselves, we all help each other. Do you feel me? And I love that he did that. Like from his music, all his interviews, he's always trying to give game. His songs are always trying to give game. Like, he's like, yeah, I did this, but here's how you can do it as well. And that was really inspiring to me to show that you can actually get to that level, become iconic even, and still be out here like being for your community, for your people.
Yeah.
That's a terrifying thing though, because as a community, it seems like we're the only community that has the mentality of that's still shared now, where it's if you want to get somewhere fast, you do it by yourself. If you want to get there with other people, it's going to be slower.
You know what they say, don't they? Go fast, go alone, go far, go together.
But that's a lie, because a lot of other communities actually build with each other and go really far. The Indian community is very good at social growth. Jewish community, very, very good. General white communities are very, very good. Chinese are extremely, wherever they go, it is a madness wherever they want to be.
That's everywhere.
Fam,
Nigeria, they're in Jamaica, they're in
you know what?
Everywhere.
Contrary to that, like just in the conversations that I'm having and in like the social settings that I've been in, I'm seeing a lot of, union between black people.
No, so this is the thing I want to say. Right now, this generation, I feel like from 18 to like 22, even above, to be honest, but that's obviously one that I'm in. But there's a lot of people in our community doing wavy things and doing it together and clicking up. Like I really feel like this generation, I don't know, I've got a strong feeling that this generation is going to be ones that set the precedent in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like, I strongly believe like 100%, like the amount of people I've met, peers I've made, like who are just brilliant people and all come and connected. It's nice to see in everything from politics to banking to creatives to everything. Like it's lovely, and so I think that narrative's changing. I think that was like an old school thing that was kind of not on our parents' fault, but I think it's more to do with like racism, imperialism, kind of sets that perspective. But we're slowly moving up of it. Like it is getting better.
That's
as much as people don't want to believe.
Facts. I listened to a lot of old school like Fela Kuti, and he must have been like obviously talking about how systems are set up and whatnot, and just looking to the future. He's just like, if you actually deep it, like in one of his songs, he must have used a lyric like, it's 2000 and black. I was just like, wow. Like, fam, like just the amount of collaboration that I'm seeing. So another example, like you mentioned that your father was in real estate, right? I wanted you to get So I'm an ambassador for like the Black Property Network in London.
No way.
Give him a shout out.
They just released their own crowdfunding site, which is mad because like now it's black money going into black business,
feel
going
me?
into real estate, and
Yeah,
real estate last
yeah.
generation. So yeah, man, shout out to Black Property
For
Network.
real, shout out to them.
Speaking of that, I think you that shared it in our chat. The girl, I think her name is Kike. She did the BYP network.
All right, are you trying to get her on the? On the
Oh,
podcast?
that was I'm just shouting out.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
if you're listening to this, then maybe you can,
Yeah,
we got a seat waiting for you.
she's
But yeah,
amazing,
but
man.
I'm happy that we're getting recognized now. Rock Nation recognized them. Man.
Yeah, yeah, like a
I think I seen it on Twitter,
UK,
actually.
Yeah.
a UK fam. She's doing bits.
Yeah.
There's loads of black creatives emerging now.
Yeah. I think what we've seen, I think what we're seeing right now is kind of it's like companies especially are learning that culture's like the new currency kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like not to be big-headed, but I feel like black culture is the culture that everyone buys into. If we do a dance,
say it.
The lit culture.
Like,
Doesn't matter.
We lit, man.
No cap, like we make stuff cool, innit? Like if we do a dance, it's on Fortnite. If we search slang, I always see like BT. Do you know like when companies, because obviously companies are big on social media now, so they'll be tweeting and YouTube.
Yeah.
So YouTube, companies can even do posts. And then I've seen like BT Sports and all these other like traditional companies like using on slang like free smoke and all this stuff. And I'm like, you got that from us. You got that from us. You feel me? So like that's why I feel like a lot of these companies are trying to reach into like the black market.
Yeah.
They're culture vultures, man.
But we have the leverage now. That's the benefit. You feel me? Like even like I watched a talk. Someone was doing that. I can't remember the guy's name, but you commented on like who bought Beats for 3 point something? Was it Apple?
It was Apple.
Yeah, Apple.
Them buying that move was they weren't just buying the headphones because they're buying the culture that Beats has.
Yeah.
Beats info adverts, all the artists, it's black culture, and that's why they valued it so high. Like there's leverage in that. So it's like we have capital now, low key, like culture capital, and that's the new thing that I think we're going to be leveraging in the future.
Like Nipsey said, man, our culture is contagious.
Facts. You can't deny it.
But I feel like some like we.
It's just we just weren't profiting from it before.
Yeah.
Now
That's the thing. That's what I was going like. They're coming in and taking away from us. Obviously, if we like held on to it,
we own it.
We owning it. Yeah, that's the ownership is key. Yeah, exactly.
You know what's quite interesting to me, like with all of these phrases, I remember there was who's that girl in America? She's quite young. I know she's gone clear now. She uses mad slang. Caucasian girl. She's always online just beefing people.
What, what's it?
Something like that,
Bad
yeah.
Bobby or something.
And then
Daniel Brogoli, that's her name.
Right. And I think it was her that she sort of painted it like a phrase or something like that. So if you use that, you have to pay her money.
What? Patented the phrase,
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's
I
that
don't know
person.
who that is.
Is it the one that did catch me outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at like so many of our like slang, the terminologies.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Am I like, is that cap? Like, do I have something there that?
No, you're not capping. You're telling the truth.
The only thing is you can't really, because it's such a colloquial, like we have colloquial terms, like you can't really pattern but really, if only you could give rights to the black community, but it's legally it's a bit difficult. But yeah,
that's the problem that comes with nuance because it's just like, we know it's black culture.
Cool thing, like, even when you ask someone, I was thinking about this the other day, sorry to cut you, man.
No, sorry.
But like when someone does like a caricature of a cool person, it's like, yo, like it's all like black culture, like stereotypes and caricatures, like, wow, man.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Question though.
Yeah.
This is gonna like veer a different direction. How do you keep yourself like creatively motivated? Because like for each person it's gonna be different. So like for us, me, it's going towards anime, listening to music, and like I dance. So it's like always.
I used to dance as well. I'm not
used
good I used to dance like a group when I was younger. Hype in Bristol, but I wasn't that good to make the A team. I was on the B team. So
you still did something, my guy.
Still popping and locking,
Hey, that's your guy.
Okay. It's okay. But how do you keep yourself like creatively motivated?
That's a good question. I find, how do I keep myself creatively motivated? Oftentimes, like engaging with art. So, like anime, music, but also like from reading, from just like looking at stuff. That's weird. Like, I kind of always just like observe art, and I'm like, this is wavy, and kind of get inspired through that. But ultimately, my ultimate motivation is just because, like I said, of where I want to be, and like I can't accept anything else. So like I'm naturally a lazy person. If you ask people to go to school with me, yeah, I used to sleep in school. I used to like come to school like 2 hours late. I was a terrible student, yeah. but so I'm naturally I'm naturally a lazy person. I just have energy to do things that I want to do. There's no other way to do it. And that's kind of how my motivation is. I think I've luckily found a way to align like my hobbies with my career as best as I can. So it just gives me like enthusiasm to get up and create stuff and make things. I find like, to me, like art is therapeutic. Bro, like I have to like, because I struggled to articulate myself when I was younger. I got a bit better now, but when I was younger, I used to speak really quiet, like mumble basically, and I would never be able to like say what I wanted, what was in my head. You asked me about icons. One of the people I used to look up to wasn't even a particular person, the type of people, but like just educated people, people that you could go and hear them say something and they could say precisely what they want to say, and you couldn't misunderstand it. That's amazing. Like, I wish I could do that. So I used to have to make like art to kind of figure that out, and it was like this weird transitive process where like something's in my head, I'll make something, and then from looking at that, I'll be able to understand what was in my head. It was weird, bro. And I was always like that person to try and explain something to someone. I couldn't tell you, but I could show you a metaphor. Like I'd be like, I don't know how to tell you how I'm feeling, but if you listen to this song here, you'll get it. You get it? Oh, it's like a bird and a this connecting. Like, I just asked you, like, how was your day? Like, that was me. You feel me? So, that was kind of why I had that inspiration. Why I was like so big on people who articulate themselves. Going back to just an old question, I didn't answer fully, but
nice. That's lit.
Do you have any questions for us?
I wanted to ask I asked you already about how you guys got the pod together. It's such a wavy idea, like a tech podcast for black guys, black podcast. Like, I thought it was amazing. And like, I've never seen it before. And like, when you contacted me, I was just like, this is perfect. Like, I'll be watching this podcast every day. So like, it's a shout that you actually invited me to be on it, you feel me?
Safe. I appreciate that.
It's a technology podcast, Karen.
Like, it was a weird one. It's like, even when I think back to it, when I initially had the idea, I don't know whether it's ever happened to any of you. Like, I can definitely relate to being sort of lazy, but when it comes to my passions, it's like the energy is there. So I remember like I must have been like forcing the sleep. You know those sleeps that are just eluding you. Like you're actually trying, you're tired, like you want to go to sleep. And something was just keeping me up in it. My brain was just moving bears, bruv. So I just thought of it, and it's like I even went to go and search just like the technology podcasts out there. I listened to a few. There was a few just getting into, let's say, JavaScript, etc. And then I just thought, okay, this is just because there's no black people in tech. So then,
which
like,
is a real thing.
Real
problem.
There's the odd one or two.
One or two.
There's a guy that does, I can't remember, he's in America, and he does unboxings and tech reviews.
Actual hardware.
He does actual hardware, but he knows his stuff.
He does. I think I know who you're talking about. I've seen it before. You might have even shown me before.
But you most definitely know who it is. But the thing is, you just don't know them. That's why this podcast is gonna.
I know it was my cousin. He was reviewing an iPhone.
It's okay. We're family anyway.
So just going back to that, like, and going off the back of what you were talking about of the world of social media, how you connected with this person, that person. Like, I go onto social media and I just see so many people doing crazy thing, and it's all black tech, and I'm just like mad. Like, it's not only me or us, man, that has ideas and that is like actually out there and trying to see these ideas manifest and that. Man. I think obviously we're 5 episodes in now, and out of the goals that I had for the year, we're not even close. But we're definitely further than I ever expected.
It's because you're enjoying it, and like, I can tell, like, just from meeting you out here, I can tell you really like what you're doing. It's a genuine vibe, and I think that's the best time to start this. When I feel like when you say you're looking around, you don't see something, or there's something that like it appeals to you that you just think would be cool if this was a thing, and you go and do that yourself. That's the best thing.
You know what, as well, like, obviously we're uni graduates, but what I see most men do is, like, obviously I went to university to gain the skills, but I always wanted to use those skills on my own personal projects.
Facts, yeah, 100.
And what I see a lot of is going back to what we were talking about earlier about the young adults. So, just in that corporate swing of just not doing what they want. Like what happened to like the little Don, the little boy or girl that used to dream to do this and do that, but now you're like, I get it. Like, you have to pay bills and everything. I get it, but I just feel like it's a real waste.
It's really easy to get caught in that trapping of like almost dulling your ambitions. And then there was this, I was reading something about that, like kind of like how the guy was talking about how like in school, everyone, when you're not even in school, like nursery, whatever, you ask a kid what they want to do. They want to be an astronaut or a prime minister, the leader of a country, something crazy. You wait like 10 years, it's like a little bit less. And you wait 15 years, it's gone from here all the way down to here because on the virtue of being realistic, which I think is like one of the worst things that we could ever do.
It's toxic.
Do you know how bad that is? Because it's the virtue of being realistic, but then
it's an illusion, man. I feel like realistic, like that whole concept realistic, like you need to obviously be practical and understand, like, knowledge what's going on, but this whole realism thing, I think it's just another word for pessimism.
And just like telling everybody
it's a polite way to be a buzzkill.
It's like they're just there like, oh, you want to be an astronaut? Well, here's how you get to it, and then they tell you everything that you have to do to get to it, and slowly make you see that you can't do it. And you're like, no, everything is literally
and that's just all perspective though, because someone will see that and be like, oh, these are all the things you have to die in your way. These are, or you can look at it like these are all just the things that I'm gonna get to do, like achieve milestones along the way, kind of thing, like. But yeah, I think it's your perspective that's how I think low key, they even asked me, because part of this award thing, I'm going to Texas. And I don't drop that, but they asked me about like a question like, oh, like, what's the most valuable thing you want to get from me? And I feel like me personally, one of the most valuable things you can get in life is perspective.
Right.
That can change everything. Once you start looking at things a different way, everything else materializes differently, trust me. So having that perspective to look at things positively and like know what you can do, as opposed to feeling like someone who can't do anything, like you're helpless, and know that you're someone who's empowered and you can actually do what you want to do.
Real talk.
That's where everything changes.
And I think at the grassroots of that, it just comes down to exposure. Like that little you needs to be exposed to that person or that environment to, go and. Because, bro, one thing I'm noticing about you is like those skills that you say that you have this whole vision of where you are now and where you want to get to.
Yeah.
And it's like that's an uphill battle in terms of the skills that you have to learn. But there's nothing along the way so far that I've, like, from your story, like there's nothing you won't learn or you wouldn't do. Like for someone that is naturally creative to then go and get into like back-end code. That's mad to me.
Yeah, it was mad to me. Like that's the weirdest, because I was like always in two places. Like, I've always felt like I was a creative academic, and I like the technology stuff, like being an artist. But when people say they pick one, and I just hated that. I didn't want to pick one. Like, I want to do what I want to do. So at the early stage, we're literally just doing that, just trying to do both. And then at the time, you're kind of like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm doing it anyway. And then now it's like that's your niche. Like, oh, you do this, and multifaceted creative, they call it. It's a cool thing. I'm like, well, I guess it didn't work. Just gotta trust in yourself, innit? But sometimes if not, like everyone, obviously, all individuals trying to achieve something that maybe no one else has quite done exactly the same way. So sometimes it's not going to be a blueprint laid out for you. You're going to kind of make that along as you go. Just kind of trust in it.
I hear that. Were you into like any sports?
Yeah, not the traditional kind. I couldn't play football. I was into like boxing. I was like, when I did like boxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, freestyle wrestling, all that stuff. Because I couldn't play football. I was terrible. I couldn't play basketball either. Like, even though I'm tall, like, I just didn't have the coordination. I think team sports, I just sucked at. But honestly, I'm not a team player. But I think that's cap. But maybe she's right. But I did quite like the idea of like, when you play no bashing football as well, because it's a brilliant sport. But why I didn't like it was like, if you lose, like it wasn't. You could win and not do anything. Or you could lose and play the best game of your life. And I always kind of like the idea of like, when I did boxing or whatever, it was like, if I win, I won. If I lost, I lost. And there's a deeper risk in that, but there's also the greater reward in that. So those are the sports I kind of like to be involved in, because it was just like, it was terrifying, but it was brilliant. Like just me and someone else, and like you're just trying to beat the other person. That's it. You got no one else to fall back on. But when you come up, when no one else to make excuses for you, but at the same time when you win, then it's all on you. So
I can relate to that, man. Like, I still play a lot of basketball, and it's like when people are not getting back on defense, or they don't have the same energy as you, or they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I get that. I hear that.
That's a question for some, bro. Football, people get the nicest people get mad short-tempered in football. Like, no matter what, like,
they'll be cussing. You're like, you're swearing like this.
Bro, I used to watch that at lunchtime. I'm not involved. I'm not going to get shot like that. No, I'm not doing it. It's not take it too seriously.
I need to chill.
Yeah.
So anyway,
those are the sports that I was into, man, and still am, to be honest. Like, I think it was good. Like, boxing and the wrestling, especially, were like great for discipline.
Yeah,
bro. Like, and I think doing all of that stuff plays a big difference. Like, sports, I'm sure it helps everyone, every different sports individually. But me particularly, like doing judo and being like sensei, having a master, having that kind of strict, humbling yourself. That's what I found. The main lesson I learned from those things was humbleness. Same thing with wrestling. When you get flipped upside your head, like so many times, you just learn to like show in it. Same thing with boxing. You know, boxing, whether you're good or not, you learn like just to be humble and have discipline and about regimen, about sticking to a regime. And even when things get tough, which they do, wrestling training is like one of the hardest things I've done in my life. But still just not giving up and grinding through it. And then at the end, you get that reward when you kind of start to see the progress. And you realize that it's all, you know what they say about boxing is like champions aren't made in the ring, they're made in training. Fights aren't won in the ring, they're won in training. It's that cumulative thing, like compound. I think the concept of compound gains, is like one of the fundamental laws of life, bro. Like, it's about delayed gratification. Little 1% every day after a couple of years or a year is a big margin, you feel me? And that's something I learned in training. Like, you'll be training all this time, like all these sessions, individual sessions, you may not be seeing a lot of progress. But after like 2 months, 3 months pass, you start to realize, oh, okay, I can do things I couldn't do before. A year passed, like, bro, I can do this. Like, next thing you know, it's just like, and people, you'll think it's overnight, but it's not. You've been like putting in the work from early. It's just you're realizing it now. And that's the lesson I got from sports. So
there's a reason why I asked that very specific question. So my sister, she is, like, my brother and I were both very, very sporty, but she's more sporty than both of us put together. Like, all the awards in the crib that probably used to just see, like, Cassandra, it's all her.
Shout out to her.
So I should be having those, fam.
I've just got like the odd one or two for basketball, but her, it's like it's shot put, it's discus, it's athletics, it's rugby, it's football, it's netball, it's basketball, it's shit bears. So
she's an Olympian, fam.
Bears, like representing county level at Bears. I sort of envied her for doing that, but she now studies sports law, right? And she came to me because she was stuck with a law question, right? And basically, what the debate was should esports be considered as an actual official sport?
Yes.
So let's say, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, because I'm gonna get vexed about this, but carry on.
So what do you think? Should like gaming be considered as an actual sport? Do you class it as that?
Yeah, it's a skill. Like, it's not as physical as other sports, but like darts is a sport.
If chess,
you know what I'm saying? Like, darts is a sport, bro. People will line up and watching it. Like, it's not for me, and I'm not.
They get dropped.
Yeah, they get dropped. They do their thing and they make their money. People do it with pool, snooker. Like, gaming is difficult. Pick up a pad and try and pay these youths. Like, it's not easy. Like, they put in a lot of time. Bro, like, these are put time, blood and sweat into it. And I love to see it. Like, the fact that, again, these are just kids, adults, whatever, who are doing something they love to do, and now they're making a career from it. Why not?
Yeah,
you should be happy.
So you wouldn't be surprised you seeing like Fortnite at the Olympics or something?
Could you?
My guy, you don't know what already goes on. Do you know they fill up this O2 Arena with people to go and watch?
I'm not surprised, man.
Tournaments. Rainbow Six Siege recently just got updates. I'm getting excited.
Those ones are lit, bro. Like, I watched like the fighting ones, like the Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, that new game. And like the commentary gets you gassed. I'm like, yo, this shit, man. He just did the what? Like, bro, nah, it's real.
It's when you see some of these people play, it's like watching them do like a fantasy version of like mental chess.
Yeah, do you know? And I think that's what the why intrinsically maybe why we like sports is seeing someone do, it doesn't matter what it is, but seeing someone do one thing to a level of like mastery. That is just there's just something incredible about it, regardless of what it is. Even if it's something mad like knitting or something that you would think painting, something that could be really mundane by itself. Yeah. Seeing someone do it at a crazy level, it's just fascinating.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
Like I'm always interested in the story. Like what must you have gone through to just become that?
Bro, I watch these YouTubes of it, by the way. You like UTV. Like, there's like these YouTube things on like breaking down certain stories of certain gamers and stuff. And like I hear about people who went to Japan, used to like compete in like Japanese arcades. Remember back in the day when they had arcades? Yeah. I said remember back in the day. I didn't even go to arcades, bro. But like they used to go there and like play in like train in the Tokyo, like train in the arcades, you get it, and then come back to the US and shut it down here and then go back. I was thinking, this is mad. Like you're like the virtual karate kid, like
basically.
You gotta give them respect. Like anyone who masters anything, you gotta give them respect regardless.
I've been trying to keep up with, because when I'm talking about Rainbow Six Siege, it's a game I play, but I'm trying to keep up with the esports like area, because when I started seeing that these people are actually doing their job. Rainbow Six Siege is one of those games where you can't just jump in and think you're playing any kind of game. This is why it's a very good game, especially games like CSGO and Counter-Strike. They don't give you a map. So any level that you put on, you have to know exactly what the level is. You have to think about how the level can be played. So every single environment has different destructible walls.
I thought that was cool when I seen that.
And different weapons can actually do different levels of damage to the wall. Everything, like a bullet will pass through and blam you in the face. One shot, you're gone. It doesn't matter what weapon. I mean, so you have to think about it on that level. So if I'm in this area, I know that I can use this, and this.
There's a lot of strategy in it.
Yeah.
It's not
way too much.
You got to think for
You have to think so much. So when they're like, oh, should this be like an actual like Olympic sport?
Bro, do you know like pilots? Don't pilots and racers, they use Forza to simulate for practice for racing, and they use like some flying jets. Low key, so like
games on a joint now,
it's valid. Definitely valid.
Marvin, are you working on any sort of projects that you're on, or if you were to create a game, or could you share?
I've got better ideas. I don't mind sharing ideas because a lot of ideas probably have already been out there. I've been thinking about stuff concerning how. Okay, when you actually start making games now, there's a lot of like blockers and barricades that kind of stop you from going first being momentum. So you have to start thinking about what the game's going to be about, what the mechanics are going to be, what's the game going to be oriented about, because you can have different versions of games that go towards the art, like genuinely just being the arts. Then you have games just being about competitive play, and even when it comes down to like the mobile scene and people actually playing on their mobile phones, it's even like now getting a bit iffy. I can't just start making stuff for myself. So like there's we might need to cut this next section out. So from this section on, I'm going to talk to the guy by after. So the guy I'm speaking to, you know Sam Bangoro, a fellow Sierra Leonean. We're
wavy guy.
Wavy guy. We've been speaking, we've been actually like trying to work on games. Like,
is it? Because I know he's a game head as well.
He's a game head, so we've been like trying to work out
even for his final year project. Oh, Wavy.
The guy is on job, and like he's all the way in Coventry right now. So it's like trying to communicate and work out how are we going to move forward with creating a game. And the idea is of what are we going to be making? Are we going to be making something that's short and we've released within like 6 months, or are we actually going to go for something grand? If you're going to start learning, the idea is to do something that is short and progressively learn.
Right.
But I'm
like like making a short film.
Exactly.
So it's the projects. Yeah. I get that.
I'd like to say like a short film, but I feel like when it comes to games, it's synchronous. It's always sync. But when it comes to like games, it's like you can't just be like, we can just do this and get it out quickly. Unless it's something like a game jam, and it's really rough. You know.
On that, just the games. That was another one of the many people who influenced me as well, inspired me in storytelling. Was I can never say the same right. I think it's Hidetaka Miyazaki. He's the guy who made Dark Souls. His storytelling is amazing. Like what he's done with that genre, the whole like how he tells stories almost indirectly. When you don't get a story, you don't get like anyone to give you like the exposition. You go and find out through it, and that came from he just couldn't read when he was younger. So he used to like, read passages of text, right? And kind of have to just fill in the gaps himself because he didn't know what certain words meant. He used to like imagine it, and he uses imagination to kind of fill it in, and that's what he does with his games. But yeah, I just thought that was sick. Like,
you know what's funny?
So sick. But yeah,
I'm reading the book.
Game devs are just amazing, bro.
That's jokes. I'm reading a book now by Richard Wright called Black Boy, and he's like it's a sort of narration of his early years, and he's going through the same thing of like, obviously when back then education wasn't really out there for black people.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to read and all of that. So I'm gonna watch that interview, man. What's it called?
Which one?
The one Suzuki.
Hidetaka Miyazaki or whatever. I think it's a written one. It's not a video.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a legend. Obviously, like his games are just Bloodborne, Dark Souls. They're all very like, and even the concept of them. I used to do a blog in uni, and I used to write about these the spotlights on their games. So I know way too much information about it. But yeah, he's a brilliant director. David Cage is another one. Kind of pioneer really, because the whole concept is called David Cage games now, and those games are used to refer to those games when you can like telltale games, when you kind of pick an answer and the answer changes.
Choose your own story.
Yeah, which is normal now. Fallout has it, Skyrim has it, all these other games have it where like it's common to have a bit where you can kind of pick some dialogue and change. But he was the one who started doing that. I think he was the first game developer in France to have his game premiered at a film festival.
He made
and he won like a French honor.
Rain.
Yeah,
he's the one that made
Fahrenheit, the one that got banned or whatever. Even though people now, I think the industry has moved on from
a game got banned.
Yeah.
Oh, my guy. These games are mad.
Yeah, some of them are mad. I thought my dissertation was on like a whole marketing ethics in the video game industry.
Yeah.
And it was on a little bit about Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Because remember that raised a lot of controversy because of like the whole, the trailer. It depicts that guy beating his daughter.
His daughter, yeah.
And they were like, should games be allowed to have this content? Well, films do it. So I was like, yeah, but that was the whole thing. So yeah, like he pioneered that. Even the industry has moved on from him. I don't think he's not the best anymore at doing what he does, but he made a big change. And now you see it in TV with what's that thing? Black Mirror, Bando, people don't know that had its roots in video gaming. Like,
I'm actually gonna have to go and check the game that came out recently. Did he? It was based like around Halloween. These teens go to a place in Canada, and there's like a lodge.
I've been out of the loop when it comes to games recently, so I can't even know.
I should know it. I should. Guys, continue. I actually have to search this up.
He's one of the only game directors who put himself in the game. So when you buy his game, I think it's the first one. David Cage is in the game playing David Cage, teaching how to play a David Cage game. It's the most meta thing ever. Bro, man, I don't know if he might be the maddest narcissist ever. But it's funny, like, shout out to him.
Fab, I have to find it. Continue. You might actually continue.
Yeah.
It's a game that Rami Malek's in. The guy that he was in. See, now I'm even forgetting everything. I need food. This guy.
Oh, from Mr. Robot.
He's in Mr. Robot.
Right,
Rami Malek.
Okay.
Continue. I need to find Until Dawn. That's it. I'm wondering if David Cage did Until Dawn. So that's another... Oh, God, now my brain's just gone.
He may have. He might not have, though, because there's so many other people that have done what he does now.
Stuff that's similar.
And, like, they've just kind of took it to different levels.
But you know that games are...
He's like the Wiley of that genre of games.
I mean, it's mad because you have a ton of going into the gaming sector. There are games that the moment you have an entire genre named after a type of game, you know you made it.
Yeah.
So you've got games that are called Metroidvania, and there's games that you go from one section.
You've got Souls games.
Souls games are mad.
Everything's a Souls game. Any game that has any difficulty nowadays is like, what's a Souls game?
Any difficulty, or you have to really think strategically about how you play it.
Yeah, you made it.
It's very, very interesting. I do want to bring it real quick. What anime are you a fan of now?
So One Piece, I think, is like has to be one of the best animes ever.
It is.
It's just the writing, fam. Oda's writing, the way he sets up things from like the first arc that come to life in the 7th. He's a genius. Shout out to him. So yeah, I'm still watching that. My Hero Academia. Reading the manga. The manga's lit. Shigaraki's on crud. Death Note. They did a Death Note one shot that came out recently. I don't know if you've ever watched Death Note.
Yeah.
That is one of the best animes. That period. Like the story is so different.
Yeah.
How can you? I always figure out like when people do like Sherlock, Death Note, when shows that have characters or protagonists who are just ridiculously smart. How smart do you have to be to imagine that? Do you feel me? Like Death Note was lit, and they just did a reshot of like in the future. Bravo. But I started reading Berserk. That's a bit of a darker a manga, but I always heard things about it and I wanted to get into it. It is I'm starting to see it. It's really good. I'm a big fan for like dark anime as well, just dark stuff like Devilman Crybaby. I love that. And Hunter x Hunter.
I've
goats.
Slow down. I'm on episode 16. I got cussed out by family, and so far,
no, you haven't seen nothing yet.
What I don't understand is how people can love someone like Killua.
Yeah,
he's a lovable character, but he's a child that can murk. Like,
bro, watch the anime. Like that anime is one of the. I think what it does, and this is why it's deep, is because the way that anime plays with morality and philosophy is different. Like, no other anime ever does that. Characters tend to kind of stay along a certain path. You got your good guys, you got your bad guys, you got your people who are in the middle. Maybe one might change over.
Yeah, the character development is.
Yeah, they make you like you've seen it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, like at the end with Gon, like you start to feel like raw, like no, it's different.
You know what? I'm not gonna ruin it, but I'm sort of almost glad in a way that there hasn't been anything else released like that's been animated.
Yeah.
Well, to affect the main story at least, because where do you even go from?
Yeah, but the manga's still going on, and the thing is, he writes his manga like books. Like his manga worthy, like he's a proper thinker. Shout out to him. He's actually married to the girl from Sailor Moon, the lady who wrote Sailor Moon, so they linked up. But yeah, like Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorites that I'm reading. Like, I just started reading it because obviously I watched it. I'm like, I want to read it because I want to know what happens after.
Yeah, I might have to
where
do
we're
that
at.
stuff.
It's lit. What else? I think those are the main ones. I can't lie. One Punch Man.
I'm not a fan of that, you know.
Why?
I just think it's ridiculous, bro.
One punch and that's it.
You know what? It's I think
like it gets me vexed.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from because I think it's really good. Maybe it still got overhyped a little bit, but it is really good and it's really funny. And I think the idea that the way they kind of make a satire of like common anime tropes and superhero tropes, because it's true. Like, it's boring being the strongest guy. Like when you got people like Superman, you got like Goku. More time, it's like you've already won, isn't it? And just imagine being this person. Everyone wants to be that person, but realistically, if you were, you'd just be dead. And I think it's funny how they play around with that and how they still make the story interesting despite that. Because usually you need a villain, you need a big threat to keep us engaged and keep the stakes high. We all know that Saitama can beat everyone. But I think they still managed to make you kind of wonder. It's about the other characters. They built the show around the rest of the team. Saitama's just like, he's almost like a side character to his own show, you feel me?
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty smart how they've done that. So,
could you talk to us a bit about your final year project? I know you talked about it a bit. Was it a dissertation? Or
yeah. It was on marketing ethics within the video game industry. So my question was, again, I was a big nerd. I wanted to the question I made was which is mad that they let me do it because they're a bit funny about it because it was like, is it gaming? Is it philosophy? Is it what? But do companies within the video game industry hold like a moral obligation to the end consumer in respects to how it affects their behavior? So the question I was reaching out to is like, so when you see like, when companies like Grand Theft Auto or whatever advertise games with like murder, Detroit Become Human, showing child abuse and alluding to other things, like, should the games be held responsible? Like, should I as a marketer have to think about how if I'm going to show that? Because if it was a film, you wouldn't really question it, but it's a game. And also what annoyed me at the time was, the game industry's kind of gone a bit downhill. At least I think so from when I was younger. Cool. And that's partly to do with there was no centralized regulation to monitor like just their authenticity. People used to lie. Do you remember? I can think of Beck's Watch Dogs. When that came out, everyone thought it was ridiculous, and what they were doing was, because obviously you know how games work. Like a big game has a lot of space. They would load like a small area, pump up the graphics and capabilities, and say that this is representative of the game.
When they showed those slices.
And when the game comes out, that's not how it is. And then do you remember that space game which everyone was gassed about? No Man's Sky. That made me want to buy a PS3. And the game came out and it was nothing. He did a whole PR campaign and 80% of the things he promised. People made compilations on YouTube of how many lies he told. It wasn't, and nothing came of it. And that was commonplace. And what that was doing, I noticed, was predicted having a negative effect on games because you lose trust in the consumer. Less people make pre-orders, so people don't want to do pre-order anymore because they don't feel safe. And less people want to buy games and like all these things about microtransactions. Like so that was the main thing. It was just marketing. Should they be regulated for lying in their marketing, or should they have to cut restrictions on what they can actually show, even if what they show is part of the game? So I argue that from a 3-point perspective, like a legal perspective, marketing perspective.
What's your personal perspective?
I think that where it originates from, that lack of regulation comes from just is just a byproduct of the fact that people just don't respect video games.
Yeah.
As an art form. They still got that old mentality of like, oh, it makes you a mindless zombie, like it's gonna ruin your kids' brains. It's Pac-Man. When in actuality, video game stories are like films. The Last of Us is getting turned into a film, is it not? Are they planning to do a Last of Us movie?
They made a movie called The Road, which The Last of Us is like it has links to a book called The Road, and I think they may be doing something.
From what I heard, they were in the works of it, but like the stories themselves they're really complex now.
Yeah.
And they're like movies in themselves, especially with the graphics. And there's like, these people are artists, they're creatives. They're not just people making like ping pong on the table. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to pong, that game was it. So I think that because of that, that's where that lack of regulation came in, and like allowed companies to just say what they want to say, do what they want to do.
Yeah.
And when people were trying to file lawsuits, people were like, "Bro, it's games. Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
So I think that was a problem. I think there needed to be some regulation on like what you can and can't promise.
Yeah.
You need to be held accountable. But I do think in terms of content, you wouldn't restrict. The same way I don't think musicians, like when they judge like drill music, I don't get back a bit, but like musicians, like the rappers that rap about certain things, but people being filmed showing gang violence or guns or whatever, and no one's, it's calm, it's art.
Yeah.
So the same way with game directors, you should be able to make a game about really whatever you want. It's art, and people don't have to buy it. You get it, but you should be able the freedom to make it about whatever you want and advertise as what you want.
Do you think let's say for like the younger generation out there, or people born maybe, let's say, after 2005.
That's mad thinking people that are born in 2000. Fam, it was my little cousin's 18th birthday this weekend. I was thinking, you got born in 2002. Yeah. And you're walking around. Sorry, it baffles me still, but yeah, go on.
Do you think like, because I know with my cousins, like they are, I can't get them to go outside, bro. So do you think that's a concern there?
Probably. I feel like I was born in the best generation. No cap, yeah. So because 97, I got the end of my brother's generation. So like I still made tree houses and stuff. We used to go out and do like not ginger and play them games. Get up to
if
you're
a slow runner, sorry.
I got caught a couple of times. Play games like that. But then obviously at the time still was like PlayStation 2, still was playing games as well. Game Boy Advance, linking up Pokemon, trading, fam. Lit. So I got to balance both of that outside. Whereas I feel like now kids growing up, they're only getting that one side of it.
Yeah.
iPad. That's it.
Like straight away, like everyone's just used to it. Like my little nephew just knows how to use a phone as good as I do. Like it's mad. And I do think there is some detriment to that. You need to be able to balance it. Everything in excess is bad for you. I don't think, generally speaking, having a phone around you is bad. I don't think you should like live like Amish and make kids not have any technology until they're 10. Like that's just dumb. That's not going to make you. They're not going to be prepared for the real world, because the real world is that, and that's why these kids are going to have more of an advantage than even we do. Because I feel like, again, our generation, like we kind of grew up when I remember when Facebook started. Now I sound old. I remember when Facebook started. But like, so like, and Snapchat and that stuff was around. So we kind of grew up with that, and we kind of privy to it. But these are born in it. You get it, and that's going to give them. They're going to have way more capabilities on that, and because of that, so there's benefits and negatives to it. But I think like it should be balanced. Like get outside, experience like nature, and like speak to people. Not nature like get outside your yard. Like you need that social. It's weird. I was talking about it the other day. Like we're more connected now than ever before. Right. Social media, like I can get hold of anyone from anywhere. Like even things like you. I'm from Bristol. You're from London, but we can speak like just like that. Do you know me? It's crazy. In this time, there's like everyone's more isolated than ever. Like, it's weird. It's kind of ironic that like in the time we can get in touch with anyone we want, everyone feels so like isolated and locked away in that room.
Because you realize it's not a human connection.
And that's with your phone. That's it. That human connection is important, bro. Like it's that social. That's real socializing. So it is important that I think kids get that when they're growing up now.
Because on the note, in fact,
question. Sorry. How long does it take to get to Victoria from here?
You got to go Green Park.
It's not that far,
on train,
It's like a couple of seconds. I've got to leave at 4:30.
That's fine. Finish at 4.
Yeah,
you got time. I was gonna say, I think it's really, really interesting when you think about it that when the games industry, because I want to go back, I'm going to bring it forward to where we're at now. When it goes to the games industry, I think the reason why you had a lot of people just being upset was the implementation of things as games as a service. And so when you have anything as a service, it's kind of is good when it comes to actual business work. When it comes to a platform for gaming, it's then an issue, because then what you're doing is you're preemptively saying that this is what's going to be in the game. We expect it to be in the game, even if at launch day it's not there. We can still then go and patch it in at certain points. So then you can have people that are going, like the guy, I forget his name as well, the guy that created No Man's Sky, that one made all the promises, but they've progressed.
2 years later, he's done it. He has done what he promised. It's a good game now.
Exactly.
But it has been like 4 years.
It took a year, then a massive drop. No, year, then a explanation, then a massive drop. And then it was like, okay, this is what we were actually promised at the beginning, plus more. But before that, it's kind of difficult. And then the additional problem of being able to pre-order a game, I would always say go against pre-ordering anything that is like that, because you it's a problem in the fact that you don't know what you're getting, and even if you get it at launch day, there could even be less there than what you expected.
Yeah.
So it's
that's why I think those games like FIFA and COD benefit a lot, because you know what you're getting with those games. Yeah. Like it's safe. It's a safe investment. I can pre-order FIFA every year. I know what I'm going to get. The same game from last year with a bit of extra features. But when it's a new thing, it's like
new names on the back of the shirt. And
you know what I mean?
You shouldn't even
No, but with this new FIFA, you know, they got the different like custom modes. Like you can play like futsal. I saw that, I was like, what?
I'm not really interested in FIFA anymore, man.
Really?
I just feel like the way that, which is what my next point was going to be, I just feel like the way that just the Internet of Things is developing, the way the just the internet in general is just developing, like that is just, fam, like, I want to do things like VR. I want to see where augmented reality gets to, because that gasses me too.
You should have been there when Sam was doing his project.
Right, we got it. We'll talk to that guy.
You know, you put on the VR helmet. I was walking through. He had like a museum of art, and then you just like obviously you got like a controller. You just like press one button, you go forward. You're just seeing different angles, you're seeing different, and it was crazy.
He gave you
made an environment. It
was because when you're doing the thing, I'm just trying to work out the headset that he probably gave you. But mad. So you actually like made the full environment, had you fully walked through it.
That's talent, bro.
Yeah. Like
that. I'm saying, like that's a product.
It really excites me. If I'm just thinking of the capabilities of that, I could see it everywhere. Yeah, literally, like you could take people to the moon, bro.
No, you're so right. And have you played the PlayStation Move, whatever it's called, the PlayStation VR?
I haven't, but I've seen it.
I played it at my cousin's house, and it changed the whole experience of gaming to me, because I played the game, and it was like some horror game walking through, and there was this giant clown kind of thing. It was mad. But even the way you see I'm look like, the experience is different. It feels like a dream. Like it doesn't. Do you know when you play the game and you're like, I played the game and there was a giant monster and it's Pete. I was walking and the thing was there.
I would actually.
It's a whole. When I remember it, that's how it's like a dream. You know when you have dreams and you see like madness, you're like, raw. Like that's what it felt like. I was like, this is a different. It didn't feel like a game. Like I couldn't bang out VR for hours like I did on games. There's something mad about experiencing that. But it's like a whole different, unique experience in itself.
Yeah, you're getting stimulated in different ways. Like,
different.
As I said, like I can imagine it everywhere. I can even imagine it like in, let's say, movie theaters.
That'd be sick.
I can't wait till someone does that.
Yeah.
A film where you're in the restaurant when they're talking or something mad like that.
Like fam, 3D glasses. Fair enough. Okay, cool. When I first experienced 4DX, that was cold.
The chairs were.
I haven't even done that. I heard that when the rain comes.
So I watched we watched what?
That they do it in London,
Burns. This is when we were still students. We watched
they must have it in London though.
They must.
We watched Endgame.
Endgame.
4DX.
Bro,
what was that saying?
Bro, you know when Thanos was punching Hulk?
Yeah.
Bro, your seat, boom, you feel everything. It was sick.
You got banged. We got banged as well. It's like,
that hurt me because Hulk's one of my favorite comic book guys, man.
Wait, Hulk is your what?
He's one of my favorite comic book characters.
Yeah, I like him as well.
Remember the old show, fam, the 1970, where like the guy would just turn into Lou Ferrigno, like his clothes would just rip, and he was a bodybuilder. I loved it. Are you dumb?
They did that whole Marvel thing, right? Man.
I found out a fact today. Go for it. Before I was watching about One Piece. You know, One Piece is the third best-selling comic book of all time. Behind Batman. It's 10 million copies behind Batman. So next year, or 2 years, it might be above Batman. Obviously, the only thing above it is Superman.
Yeah.
I thought that's just a weird fact. But yeah, back on Marvel Comics.
That's definitely going to overtake. Now that I think about it, because they're still trying to get towards episode 1000, and even then, we don't know if it's going to end there. That's even mad.
It's crazy, bro. Like, fam, when I watch that thing, like, and actually try and think of what the actual One Piece is, I'm just like, bro. You haven't given me anything.
That's so much stress, though. Like, 'cause I was thinking that's why I rate when it comes to directors, and I'm going back to anime, but I rate series directors almost more than I rate film directors. And to me, if I was to proper set to be a director, I'd want to be a series director, because like, Joe, when you watch Top Boy and you watch Power, you know, it's mad how these shows, and Twitter is a great way to observe this, but like bring everyone together one day every week. Like, everyone's talking about it. You're like people even in my cousin's house. Like normally my cousin would be upstairs playing Fortnite. My other two sisters would be outside. But now every time Power's on or Top Boy's on, they're in the same room watching it. The fact that you can consistently do that week in and week out for years. It's not for a 1 hour, 2 hour thing. Not to discredit filmmaking, because film is a different thing in itself. But to do that consistently over time, and the pressure, because it's calm. I think first season, like they talk about this in The Office. Like the first season felt like a success for them because they were like having fun, and after that point you have people's expectations, and now it becomes meeting a standard. So it's a whole different ball game. And like you're going back to like the manga, the One Piece, he's stressed because no matter what it is, how can you? No one's gonna be happy. Like what could it be at this point? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what it is. So yeah, like people would do like manga every week, long running show series. They're like how do you do that? The pressure is mental.
So when are we gonna see your next film or your next project? Or can we even catch your previous one?
Yeah, it's on BBC. It's on BBC iPlayer.
So I was searching before, fam. I could not. I don't know why I went.
So it's not called A Fashion Show. That's why, because it's part of a collection. My film is called A Fashion Show. Right. That's the kind of like ironic name, because the film is way more than a fashion show. But it's on a show called Screen Grabbed, which is a collection of short films. And my film was on there. I think it's one of the third films they get played on there. So that's how you can find it. Screen Grab. I'll send you the link for time.
Let's
check it out.
Yes,
but they're still on BBC iPlayer to this day. So yeah, check it out and see what you think. I'd be interested to know like what you, because you haven't seen it yet.
No.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see like what you think and what your take is on it, because the film was designed to be a film where like, that's why I haven't spoken about it much, because it was really inspired. Like a big inspiration was Hidetaka Miyazaki, that guy, how he storytells, but also like Rorschach paintings. Think how you could look at something and like I see a butterfly, but you see an elephant.
What did you call it? Because I'm always
Rorschach.
No, as in like those kind of paintings.
Rorschach paintings.
Rorschach.
Yeah. If you ever watch Watchmen, that thing that guy has in his face, that's the painting. I just thought it's a psychological test, isn't it? That was cold, and just a few other musical influences
that was cold.
that were just about subverting expectations and kind of taking your own interpretation of it. So I wanted to make a film where like 3 people could watch it, let's say, and each get their own kind of different meaning from it, which has been pretty cool so far. So especially that you got black as well. Like I want to know what.
No problem. I'm looking forward.
What was I gonna say? Will you ever get into like directing anime?
Okay, so these are things that are on my list. Yeah. So I've always wanted to make a manga, like, because I've always directed anime in my head. I would just love to. I make it wavy, like, you know, like. Yeah, that's on my list. I would love to do that at some point, go do some work in Japan. Even if it's just work with a Japanese, like work with Shonen Jump or working with those companies. Yeah. That's going to happen at some point. Yeah, so definitely would want to direct anime. What else would I want to do? I was game UI. Right. That's one thing that's got piqued my interest now, because like I started looking into it on my last project to solve a problem, looking into the map of the UI and UX that goes into game design. And there's so much. Even in terms of how you take damage, little games do things like, some games give you like an extra point of health when you're on your last bit. So you get more of those like, I was like 1 bullet away from death moments. And like the way they structure like the mini maps and how big they do everything. All the stuff, the menus, all that stuff is designed psychologically to be good for you. And there's loads of little things in there that you don't notice that subconsciously make a big effect.
Yeah, that's that. I was thinking of that very recently. Like just certain things are taken for granted, and just I'm going to make up my own word here. Undergassed. Like people are really undergassed in these games that they're playing. Like because the logic behind all of that for you to just go and murk the guy that you just murked on God is mad.
But that's the thing of all creative endeavors, and I think you just kind of have to learn to. That's one of the things you have to learn to accept as a creative. I think that like no one's ever gonna, because you know everything you've put into the film, music, song, everything. You put little sounds here, little things here, and that's inspired by this and 98% of people or 80% of people ain't gonna clock everything. No one's gonna clock everything. That's just 99% of people ain't gonna clock everything, and even a smaller percentage are gonna even clock half of the stuff that you put in it.
Right.
Or they're gonna be aware that they clocked it, but subconsciously they'll be like, "This was a great piece of music. This was a great film. I don't know why, but it was lit," and that's how they're gonna appreciate it. And it's those little things that they go and notice that make up that subconscious feeling of this is lit. You just have to learn to be like, yeah, most people aren't gonna know like you did this, but their subconscious will know. Like they'll feel it. They won't be able to articulate it, but they'll feel it.
Because you could be grinding, like man. Just working on that code for days, years. Like I always like to monitor things in hours, and I'm just thinking, mad, like, bruv, this game or that piece of content must have taken hours of consistent. Yeah. Anyway, all right, cool. You mentioned you had to get a train, right?
Before you go, drop your socials, drop everything that you've been wanting to let people know that you're going to be up to in the next few. Could be asked what you're up to, but
my socials are on Instagram. It's Okori the director. On Twitter, it's Iroko Uno. No, only Okori is a good way to find me. At only Okori on Twitter. That's the things I'm up to. Man, I'm going to Texas. So part of winning that BMA award was they're sending me to Texas. So everything paid for. To go to South by Southwest. I'm attending there with like a bunch of companies from Bristol media, so Southwest media companies and some companies from London. Yeah. So we're gonna do some networking stuff. And then just attend South by Southwest. But I'm also doing like an Instagram takeover for them and having to do a vlog about my experience there. So if you follow me on socials, you're gonna see all of that stuff from me in Texas and meeting great people. Like I've got meetings up with some people who worked in Amazon and Google. I get to go and chat with them and hopefully maybe even get to show some of that conversation as well. Yeah. So that's going to be me at my March. It's going to be, cowboy hat, Texas.
That's lit.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you two? Anything up and coming?
I'm alive.
You know?
I'm alive.
I'm just out here.
We striving, man.
Doing greatness.
Have you ever heard of meetups? You must have. Meetups.com.
That
sounds
I love that app. That's where I go to find like little cool things going on.
Found that app, it's gold.
Especially if you're getting into like creative industry or tech. There's bare like Oracle meetups or Java meetups or hackathons they do.
So I'm going to a React Native conference on the 25th.
That's sick.
And literally I just like joined meetups, join the community, sign in through Facebook and seeing like, because that's obviously what I want to get into, mobile app dev, and then from there I just look at different things. And to actually go to a conference where there's already people that are already in the industry, all experience. On the 25th, it's one of them ones that I would never go cinema on my ones, but I'd go to a thing like this.
I don't mind going cinema once. I don't mind.
Go cinema once,
I watched what's that film that Rapman dropped?
Blue Story.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Haven't watched?
I don't watch it.
I haven't watched either. I haven't watched Blue Story. I haven't watched
You guys need to watch it.
I have watched
it
two
takes
great
you
films
back.
though.
So
recommendations.
Which one?
A film called Waves. I don't know if it's in cinema anymore. The director, you'd think he's black, but he's not. He's white, but maybe he has black friends because the film was so like. It was so like, I felt like we made like the music, the soundtrack, everything is like rich. Sense. And it's not no typical story of like ghetto. No, it's a rich, upstanding black family and about like how the kids' relationships develop. People were crying in the cinema. It was one of those films that subverts your expectations. Yeah. And the other one I watched was called, what's the one that won the Grammys recently? The Korean film. Parasite.
Oh,
I've been hearing things about that.
That film is I left the cinema film thinking, what just happened to me? Like,
really?
It's not. Maybe I'm limited because I haven't seen every film ever, but it just felt like the original film that I've never seen before. I haven't seen anything like it. I couldn't predict where it was gonna go, and when it ended, I was like, "What? How did I feel?" But I went into it blind. I didn't watch any trailers.
I love doing that.
I thought, it's the best way. Trailers ruin it nowadays. They just tell you the whole film. But this film, like, it was just mad, and watch it. It's an experience. I understand why I won a Grammy. But I just felt like it wasn't what I was expecting. When you see a film, it's like, this is a really good horror film. This is a really good. This film is just Parasite. Like, it's just Parasite.
I thought people were talking about the anime. I thought when people were saying Parasite versus Parasite, I thought they were referring to the anime.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but no, it's completely different.
To watch it.
I have a film recommendation actually.
Go on.
It was bigged up in like a mainstream media and whatnot. Knives Out. I don't know
what. I haven't watched it.
I had like my mom obviously wanted to go watch it, and I was just like, "What's this?" Like, there's Blue Story that's on, but that is the first film that I've come out of, and I've said, "Yeah, that's a straight 10."
Really?
You know, when you go into a cinematic experience and obviously you're trying to predict along to it. Like, I'm not one of those dudes that will go and talk and say, oh yeah, this happened. But in my head, I'm just like, I was wrong every single time.
I think that's amazing when directors can do that, bro.
Nah, it's a really good film.
Yeah.
Really good film. I recommend.
Sick.
All right, any final comments?
No, it's just been a pleasure, man. Thank you guys for having me. I've loved it.
Thanks for
coming.
I wasn't leaving so early. I can't lie.
Travel from Bristol, came down, and you're going, fam, come again.
That's lit, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Next time you're in London.
Yeah, fam, for real, definitely.
Yeah, man, I'd love to do the whole VR experience.
Yeah, you said there's one.
Yeah, there are two. If you guys want to do it, just let me know when you're free. If you actually want to go, okay, cool. So now we've got Kosa, now we've got Okori. If you want to come,
build our own little community.
That's cool.
Yeah, basically.
That's cool.
Something like that.
You know.
All right, this has been the Technology Podcast. Thank you for listening.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.